Is Kaikoura just about whale watch, or is there more to it? In this video, we'll dive into the best things to do in Kaikoura, even if you only got one day. But here's the catch: many travelers arrive only to have their whale or dolphin tour cancelled due to rough seas, and they're left with no backup plan. That's why having a smart plan B is essential. You can still have an epic day, think about scenic walks, surprise wildlife encounters and incredible local food. If you're serious about making the most out of your time in Kaikoura, you want to watch this. Let's get started. First, let's talk about location. Kaikoura sits perfectly in New Zealand's South Island. It's only about 2.5 hours drive north of Christchurch, a 2 hours south drive from Picton. So this location fits perfectly with your South Island road trip. Now, here's the first big decision. Should you stay in Kaikoura or do a day trip from Christchurch? If you're time poor, day tours work brilliantly. If you want to have the full experience, especially those crucial early morning tours where sea conditions are at their calmest, I recommend staying at least 2 nights in Kaikoura. And here's something most guidebooks don't mention. You can actually arrive into Kaikoura with a scenic transcoastal train from Picton or Christchurch. But let's be honest, most of the travelers will do a self-drive with a rental car. But before we talk about what to do in Kaikoura, let me share the whale watching reality that could save your entire trip. Okay, whale watch is the big one. Yes, it's incredible, but here's what brochures often don't tell you. The tour boats are built for speed, not rough seas. When it's windy or waves are high, tours will get cancelled. And trust me, there's nothing worse than planning your entire Kaikoura visit around the whale watch only to have it cancelled due to weather. So here's a pro tip from 30 years planning experience. Book the earliest tour possible. Usually it's 7:45 during the summer season. In the winter, usually it's about 10:30 a.m. in the morning. Sea conditions are typically calmest in the early morning. Plus, you have more flexibility when tours are rescheduled, as well as to check out other sites in and around Kaikoura. More on that soon. So if your whale watch tour goes ahead, here's what you see. Mainly resident sperm whales year-round, then humpback whales between June and July, and if you're incredibly lucky, orcas between December and March. The whales surface usually for 5 to 15 minutes to breathe in oxygen before diving back down up to an hour. These precious surface minutes provide you the viewing window. Have you ever been whale watching before somewhere else? Let us know in the comments box below. But before we go into the backup plans, if you find this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button below to stay in touch for more helpful travel videos to come. Plus, put any comments or questions into the box below. So what if the boats can't go out? Here's the first idea. Whale watch flights with Air Kaikoura. The same incredible wildlife, but from above, and no seasickness. Flights operate in conditions where boats can't, giving you that backup option. Now, if you want to get into the water, Dolphin Encounter offers something truly magical. Swimming with wild dusky dolphins from October through to April is your sweet spot for this life-changing experience. For bird lovers, the Albatross encounter is pure magic. We're talking about some of the largest flying birds on Earth. I've done this tour myself, and I can tell you that watching them soar alongside the boat is absolutely mesmerizing. But there's a lot more to do, such as eco-zipline adventures through native forests, kayaking along the dramatic coastline, and something really special, the Kaikoura Dark Sky Tours. Did you know that this area has some of the darkest night skies in New Zealand? You can find all the tour links with much more information in the description box below. Also, I've put in the link to Kaikoura Tourism in there for more research on sites, tours and accommodations. Keep watching, as later in this video I'll provide you with an overview on how to structure your day in Kaikoura, either with a day tour from Christchurch or when staying in Kaikoura for a couple of nights. Now let me share what might be the most favorite Kaikoura memory. It's completely free too. The Point Seal Colony is just 5 minutes drive from town, where hundreds of New Zealand fur seals lounge on rocks a few meters away from you. Here's a critical safety note. You'll need to stay at least 10 meters away from these guys. These are not zoo animals, they are wild and can move surprisingly fast when they want. Now for something more substantial, the Kaikoura Peninsula Walkway is absolutely stunning. You can do just an hour or extend it to 3 hours. The clifftop views are incredible, and at low tide you'll discover limestone formations, sea caves and natural blowholes. The walk combines everything Kaikoura is famous for: dramatic coastline, mountain views and wildlife, all in one spectacular route. Okay foodies, this is important. Kaikoura literally means meal of crayfish in the Maori language, so you absolutely must try local crayfish. Nspen is the iconic roadside spot that locals swear by. It's located about 23 kilometers north of Kaikoura, so this is an option if you're traveling in from Picton or from Blenheim. You can also have your crayfish for dinner in some of the local restaurants in town or at the Kaikoura Seafood Barbecue Kiosk, which is near the seal colony, so it's quite handy if you want to visit that one anyway. For more foodie places in Kaikoura, check out the local tourism site. Again, I've put the link in the description box below. From sushi to beer and cider brewery, naturally there will always be updates on new places coming up, so check it out when you plan ahead. But here's another hidden spot that most travelers miss: the lavender farm. Open daily except during the winter season. See opening hours on their website. Again, I'll link this one in the description box below. It's a purple paradise with mountain views and, wait for it, lavender ice cream. It's incredibly photogenic and a wonderfully peaceful place to visit in the spring or summer season. For a dose of history, visit Five House, the oldest building in Kaikoura, which has a fascinating history, plus it's a great indoor option if the weather conditions are not that great. Also, for a small township, Kaikoura has a very fascinating museum. The museum is located in the lower part of the local council building, which is right in town. It contains incredible accounts of local history and information how Kaikoura has evolved. So here's some practical travel planning tips. So when should you visit Kaikoura? Kaikoura works pretty much all year round, but tour options are limited in the winter season, which is June to mid-September. In the summer season, which is November to March, it's of course peak season. These are the months with more crowds and higher prices, but generally the weather conditions are better. Now, what I'm going to tell you is crucial for peak season travelers. Book everything in advance. I mean everything: accommodation, tours, and even restaurant reservations. Kaikoura is very popular and you don't want to arrive without bookings. So far we covered whale strategies, backup activities, and free experiences. Next up are the sample itineraries, which I promised before. So here's the schedule for the day trip from Christchurch. You would be picked up at the hotel at 7:30 a.m, travel to Kaikoura. At 11 a.m, have stops along the way and do some wine tasting. You would arrive around midday in Kaikoura. Then you would go on the whale watch tour at 1:15 p.m. The tour takes about 3 hours and 15 minutes. Afterwards at 4:30, head over to the Peninsula Seal Colony and check that out. Return to Christchurch Hotel at about 7:30 in the evening. Now for the 2-night stay in Kaikoura. So obviously you would arrive the night before, either from Christchurch or from Picton. The next day you have a full day, so that means you can do the whale watch tour at 7:45 a.m. The tour takes about 3 hours and 15 minutes. You would finish the tour around about 11 o'clock or so, then have something to eat, have lunch in Kaikoura. Now there's a number of options you could do. At 12:30 p.m. the Dolphin Encounter tour, it takes about 4 hours. Or at 1 p.m. the Albatross Encounter, which takes about 2.5 hours. Or you could even go kayaking at 𝗬𝗲𝗃𝗃 with the kayaking tour Kaikoura, which takes about 3 hours. But you also could do this kayaking tour as a sunset tour at 4:30. This would mean you have the afternoon off and you could actually go over to the peninsula to visit the seal colony and do the walk on the peninsula. If you're into more adventure, you could also do the Zipline tour Kaikoura in the afternoon. They run tours 4 times a day. In the evening, you could do the dark sky tours. If the weather permits, obviously. It's located 10 kilometers outside Kaikoura. It takes 2 hours and it usually starts 9 to 10 p.m. in the summer season. So, as a reminder, for bad weather, visit the local museum, 5 hours, the lavender farm. Note, if it's only raining and no strong winds, many of the sea tours will still go ahead. Here's a bit of an insider tip. When I'm staying in Kaikoura, I prefer to stay a little bit outside town. So there's Glenburn Coastal Retreat is a perfect location, or there's also Fairway on Ocean Ridge, which I'll put the links in the description box below. There are plenty of other motels, apartments and hotel options in town. It just depends what your preference is and what kind of budget you have in mind. Check out my South Island sample travel itineraries up here and download the free PDF samples in the description box below, or use my custom ChatGPT travel planner. It's like having your local travel expert helping you 24/7. Thanks very much for watching. See you in the next video.